This is a poem that Elize and I wrote between us, describing our experiences as Honest Lad and Lass, 1971.
'Twas an April day in '71. By evening it came to pass, the folks of our dear honest toon did vote for lad and lass. You elected then a Catholic boy, his name was Reno de Rollo, a gangly youth, so tall and thin, with hair like Marco Polo. Now Reno's family made ice cream, 2 tons they made each fortnight, and Harry used to dub him as the Musselburgh cornet.
When I first stood for Honest Lad, oh little did I know the trials and tribulations through which I'd have to go. The years have all gone flying past, I really can't quite see how I could have been an honest lad for half a century. Election day in '71, I remember it oh so well. The feelings in my stomach were so difficult to quell. The nervousness and tension that starts from early morning, in retrospect should maybe have a government health warning. But certainly I can't complain, 'cause when the day was done, I found myself the honest lad for 1971.
We did together learn to ride at Margaret Beck's great stable, but Reno was perplexed to find his horse had no brake cable. Sit up, she'd shout, and hang on tight. You really are the limit. Walk on, trot and gallop round. God help us, gi's a minute.
To add to my good fortune, I had an honest lass, who's proved that after all these years, she's still a touch of class. She helped me and supported me and always kept me right, from early in the morning till the middle of the night. An honest lad for 71, I tried too hard to please, and life was made much easier by honest lass Elize. And soon it was the Spurs night when I joined the happy throng, swinging from the Market Cross to sing the borough song. The honest lads were very kind, they counselled me like shrinks. They told me how to ride a horse and buy a round of drinks. Bill Duncan said, "We'll keep you right, just like your next of kin." And Frankie Grant agreed with him, saying, "Thanks, I'll have a gin." George Bonthron said he'd sing a song especially for me, while the rest of them all closed their ears to the strains of Rosemarie.
The first real job we had to do was visiting the schools. You've got to mind your P's and Q's and try no break the rules. The weeest ones look up at you as if you were a god. At the grammar they just shuffle past, saying, "Gee, that pair look odd." The primary kids just have to give a gift to wish you luck. One wee chap at Campy gave a yellow rubber duck. We galloped on round Bordertons through, sometimes feeling poorly, up hills, down dales, for miles and miles, to catch our Margaret Fairley. Now Pamela Howie surpassed us all with magnificent horsey manoeuvres, but she could never explain to us the meaning of horses' doovers. In Duns we had a hectic time with ride and ball and dinings. That's where you left your kinky boots, the ones with the purple linings. We charged about from toon to toon in 590 DLP, clocking up miles with such great haste, 'twas like Reno's own Grand Prix.
And oh, the kindly border folk we met when we were there. They wined us and they dined us, we just couldn't ask for mair. We spent a lot of happy hours in tunes both far and near. We rode the bounds and sang the songs, and God, we drank the beer. George Cunningham with all his jokes, who drove us up the wall, and Matt Duff with his singer Vogue, who drove us to the ball. There's one, of course, who rode a horse with courage and with zeal, who never missed a single ride. It must be Cammy Shiel. But through all this enjoyment, one thought was looming high. The Musselburgh Festival was drawing very nigh.
Now, festival week approaching soon, we needed to practice our dancing. Our Reno here had 2 left feet, no use for pad buying. With riding boots the size of tanks, he hopped and skipped and pranced, the eightsome and the Musselburgh reels, but never with the band. We had to go to Inveresk and meet the Reverend Sidney. The lessons he did choose for us to read on Kirking Sunday. To this very day I'll never forget, In us he was instilling how to broadcast your voice in our very difficult building. Our tune was dressed with bunting gay, our homes were decorated with flags and plaques and ribbons blue, such fun it generated. The whole street decked their homes with flags. West homes looked really stylish, till Thursday morn the dustman couldn't collect the weekly rubbish.
At last the kirking Sunday dawned, a sunny scene was set. It proved to be the only day we weren't soaking wet. At St. Michael's Kirk at Inveresk I proudly read the lesson, then quickly to the chapel ran to make a good confession. The reason that my mind was filled with mild consternation, a Catholic hadn't done that job since before the Reformation. On Monday night, Crusaders' Chase, our nerves were all a quiver, but Captain Eddie Yeoman led us safe across the river. On Tuesday night, the five-a-sides were filled with sporting fun, but that was very long ago, so please don't ask who won. On Wednesday, the sashing, chucking it down again, Elize and I were ready to make history again. Not the first time sashings had been cancelled at the mall, but the first time it had taken place inside the Brunton Hall. On Thursday night, the concert, with mischief in our eyes, we entertained the audience by chucking custard pies. On Friday night, the big parade, chucking it down again. 8 giant-sized walking cornflake boxes, soggy with the rain. Then off we went to change and dry and dress up for the ball. At least we knew it wouldn't rain inside the Brunton Hall.
The HTA has presidents, and ours was Alec Aiken, a man who made us do things right until our knees were shaken. He had a wife so full of fun, she really was contrary, and would insist that all her bairns would call her Auntie Mary. And then, all too soon, it's 1 o'clock. A president did say, "Come on, you two, you've had your fun, it's time to hit the hay."
On Saturday the great day dawns. At last the time is here, when I can ride the borough bounds and hear the people cheer. As usual it was raining, but me I didn't care. I climbed into the saddle, so proud that I was there. Elize looked braw upon her horse, the beast its name was Teddy. The pipe band it did love to hear, and kept its walking steady. My horse called Carlos was a dream, he even liked my cool ice cream. And round the ride he didn't sag, as we both carried the borough flag. At Fosside, as I lowered the flag, we sang the borough song. A little sadness in our hearts, but no for very long. For soon we're back within the tune, and friendships we will forge, as we ride through the band strikes up the banner of St. George. And at the racecourse we arrive, and still it bloody rained, to return the flag to Provost Caird, unsullied and unstained.
At last it was the dinner. The last lap had begun, and we two then decided that we'd have a little fun. We wrote our speeches through the meal, each other to outshine. The audience enjoyed it all, though it wasn't wrote in rhyme. We slagged each other at every turn, no secrets left untold, but we'll remain good pals throughout, 'cause now we're going for gold. I have to say there's many here have thought it a coincidence when we did marry our true loves, then each have a set of twins. It all stems from the day we were invited to take tea. To Gibson Aiken's home we went, his treasures we did see. He was a man who travelled much to countries far and distant, returning home and laden with mementos and with presents. In Africa a tribe did give a gift of rhino horn, much treasured and much valued for its fertile powers to man. Before we left he toasted us, and we drank from the horn. Then some years later to each of us our beloved twins were born. A warning we should give here now to every lad and lass: whatever drink you do partake, make sure it's from a glass. Now people say we haven't changed, nae grey hairs, not even flecks, but standing here the night I see, we both are needing specs. In years to come you canna tell what lies before till it's begun. But my dear wish is we'll be here in 2021.